What's going on, everybody? Chad Castellanos here with GoldPay.us again. Just want to do a quick update on the last video I made about the stock market potentially making a short-term top. And again, this is just a trade that I'm going to make short-term. If I'm wrong, I will get out very fast. It's important to note that you know, never think you're 100% right always, and always have a plan to go to if you're wrong. Um, Before my last video was about shorting the RUJ, and I did put that short on, and basically right now it's done nothing. And I'm using the short SRTY, this ticker symbol SRTY, which does uh, 2 times inverse of the Russell 2000. So basically, if the Russell 2000 goes down 1%, the stock that I bought goes up 2%. Um, Within that, I just want to point out another market that's pretty oversold, and that is the U.S. bond market. If we look at the sentiment on the U.S. bond market, right now it's just at a super low right around here. Um, I don't know if you can see that with, I'll scroll up here. The optimism and pessimism index on the bond market is right here. The pessimism on the bond market is extreme, and as you can see, it was extreme the opposite way in April of 2016, where the markets were kind of in a major correction and everyone was buying bonds for safety. And now the exact opposite thing's going on, where this thing just trended down. The optimism, pessimism trended down into the pessimism favor. And so, as you can see, when it's extremely, when bonds are extremely optimistic in general, they peak, which it did right around here, and it's fallen. Bonds have fallen dramatically since then, and I'll show a chart here um, of the short-term bond market here. And um, as you can see, 2014, basically till 2016, it's been going up somewhat. 2016, especially because of the uncertainty in the markets started crashing in 2016, and the bonds just got bid up way up. And right here is where Donald Trump got elected, and the bond market since has just gone um, basically it's collapsed. Now, if we look at a long-term chart, let me go back um, and explain the short term. The reason why I'm buying a short term is not because I think the 30-year bond's going to go to an all-time high. And the reason why is because bonds have completed, in my opinion, have completed a multi-year bull market, which is like it's almost 35 years now, I believe, is when it started, and that's why interest rates are so low right now. Mostly because of the Fed right now, but in my opinion, we'd be in a bear market if it wasn't for the Fed already. But um, that doesn't mean that the bull market was substantiated when they raised rates back in the 70s all the way up to 20%. And that kind of laid the foundation of a strong dollar and interest rates to be stabilized and the bond market to go into a bull market because essentially Paul Volcker did the right thing and gave us a pretty healthy bond market, one of the most liquid, largest market in the world here. So, and that's beginning to obviously shift. The dynamic is shifting right now as we speak, but it takes time. And so as a short-term trade, I'm going to buy the bond market, which is right here. I'm going to buy the bond markets, and I'm expecting it to not make an all-time high, but I expect it to at least, rally a decent amount from this Donald Trump victory right here is where, collapse. So we could, potentially go up to the 160s again before we resume the downtrend. And now if we look at the long-term trend, and what I'm doing is I'm buying ticker symbol UBT for that trade. and I would put a tight stop. If the bonds make a new low, anywhere a few percentage points below what it's at right now, I would get out of that trade. But I think it's going to go. I think bonds are going to go up. So the UBT is just leveraged ETF that does the same thing as it tracks the bond market, the 20-year plus bond market. Um, Now, if we look at the real bull market that's been going on since the late 70s, early 80s, you can see in 81, 82, we had this total bottom right here, where bonds were getting absolutely decimated in the 70s, and everyone was liquidating the bonds because inflation was outpacing um, the bond market. So the the Fed was way behind on the curve, and inflation was running, in the I think it was like 5, 7, 8%, and bonds were below that value. So essentially, if you were saving money, you were losing, you were actually losing money in real terms. Now, when they got the bond market under control, the bond market and the dollar rallied quite significantly, and we've been in a 30-year multi over 30-year uptrend. And as you can see, it's pretty perfect. Every time it's hit this channel, it's rallied. Every time it's hit this, or sorry, every time it's hit this bottom channel, it's rallied every time. And every time it's hit this top channel, it's fallen every time. And as you can see, this is the 2016 channel, and it hit it and fell. So essentially, what I'm expecting to happen is we get a rally in the bond market, and then a retest, which if this thing rallies, a few percentage points, I'm going to get out. What I'm expecting is the stock market to go down, bonds to rally, and then essentially I want to get out of bonds when they rally significant enough. And what I'm then expecting is the bond market to start moving even farther down, make another leg down to this trend line, and it'll likely bounce again, possibly. It's hard to exactly say. We'll have to judge that at that point in time. But it's likely going to hit this rally again and then break this trend line. Bond bull markets don't last forever. This one's no different, and we have the most debt in the world right now. We have a $20 trillion debt market that's about to blow up, and the world can't really save that market. Um, so I'm expecting bonds to go blow through this and start a bear market. But for now, short-term move is probably going to be up, and then we're looking to sell, and then wait to see what happens I might even short the bond market if it goes high enough. So that's it for now. If you like this channel, please subscribe. I'll be doing regular updates on the markets, sustainability, alternative healing methods, tons of different topics that I like to talk about. So if you're interested, just subscribe, and we'll talk soon.